UML, the Unified Modeling Language. UML is a modeling language, not a programming language. Before going into modeling, we can have a brief overview of what is software development lifecycle. If we want to develop a software, there are certain phases through which the process occurs. The first is requirement analysis, design, construction, integration and functional testing, and acceptance. The first phase is called requirement analysis, where the customer requirements are considered and analyzed. And depending on the requirement of the customer, proper design has been made. So once the design is completed, construction according to the design will be take place. Then the next step is integration and functional testing. So the constructed software, if it is tested to check for error, and then the testing is completed successfully, then it is deployed. What is modeling? Model is nothing but a simplification of reality. That is, it is an abstraction of a real world entity. For example, if you are considering a scenario where you need to create or construct a building, so what is the first step? After analyzing the requirement of the customer, the civil engineer will first develop a model which is the miniature of the original or the real building. So that model contains all the essential features required by the customer. Same is the case here. If suppose in the given figure a briefcase has been displayed and the model of this briefcase can be built as the briefcase can be open and closed, the briefcase has capacity and weight, and the name of this particular model is briefcase. In short, we can say that a model is an abstraction of things. It provides or emphasizes only relevant characteristics. Other characteristics are suppressed. It also provides conceptualization and communication of ideas in a precise and unambiguous form. It is an iterative process used in analysis, design, and implementation phases of a software development lifecycle. And why is modeling required? So we know that when some matter has been displayed graphically, we can easily understood the concepts rather than by using the simple words. That is why we go for models. It provides a blueprint of the original system you want to develop. It also has various benefits, that is, visual notation of models provides benefits like clarity. You can easily identify the concept, that is, the concept will be clear. Then, familiarity, the way in which informations are represented seems familiar. Maintenance, identification of locations, that is, visual identification of locations that need to be changed, will help to maintain the system. And then simplification, that is, higher level representation using fewer constructs increases understandability. Models can be categorized as static model and dynamic model depending upon how they are organized or what data they contain. Static models are those models which contains the structural details of a system, and the changes over the time will be null in the case of a static model. Example, UML class diagram. Then the next category is called a dynamic model, where it mainly specifies the behavior of a particular system. It is mainly used in design and implementation phases of a software development lifecycle. Examples are UML interaction diagram and activity diagram. UML is used for modeling. And why UML is used for modeling is because it uses graphical notation to communicate more clearly than the natural language and the code. It also helps to acquire an overall view of a system, and it is not dependent on any language or programming language or technology. And it moves us from fragmentation to standardization. It also simplifies software design process. and as a result, we use UML for modeling. So, UML is a modeling language used for specifying, constructing, visualizing, and documenting the software system and its components. It is a graphical language which has a set of rules and semantics. UML defines 9 graphical diagrams. They are class diagram, use case diagram, behavior diagrams like interaction diagram, sequence diagram, collaboration diagram, state chart diagram, activity diagram, and implementation diagrams like component diagram and deployment diagram. Of these 9 diagrams, the class diagram, object diagram, component diagram, and deployment diagram are structural diagrams or static models. Whereas use case diagram, sequence diagram, collaboration diagram, state chart diagram, and activity diagrams are behavioral diagrams or dynamic models. The various diagrams are used in different phases of a software development lifecycle. The use case diagram is used in the requirement gathering phase, whereas the class diagram is used in the design phase of a software development lifecycle. The activity diagram and the sequence diagram and state chart diagram are used in the design and development phase of a software development lifecycle. Then the component diagram and deployment diagram are used in the deployment phase. We can see each of the diagrams in detail. First one is called the UML class diagram. It is also called as object modeling diagram. It represents the structure of the model, that is, the classes and their relationship between the classes. It also describes what object will do in the problem domain. The classes inside the UML class diagram is specified by using a rectangular structure which contains 3 components. The first component is used to specify the class name. If the class is an abstract class, it is represented by italics. Otherwise, it is represented by using normal font. The second compartment is used for specifying the attributes, and the third compartment for specifying the functions or operations of the class. The class diagram will contain various classes and their relationship between each other. It provides a conceptual model of the term of entities and their relationship. It provides a detailed information about the classes for the developers. Modifiers are used inside the class to restrict the visibility of attributes and operations. So the various modifiers includes plus symbol used to denote the public visibility, that is everyone can access. Hash symbol is used to denote the protected visibility. A negative symbol is used to denote the private visibility. Then we can also have other symbols like a tilde is used to represent a package. A slash symbol is used to represent the derived class. And if it is a static member, then we can represent it by using an underline. The picture shows the example of a class called account name having the attributes customer name and balance, and both are defined as private, and you can also specify the data type by using a colon, that is customer name colon string. Customer name is of data type string and balance is of type float. And the third compartment is having operations, add funds, withdraw and transfer. All these operations are specified as public. So now we can see how the class diagram will look like for the given code snippet. So the code snippet contains a class called circle. It has the variables or attributes like sender x and sender y, which are private and integer data type. Then it has 2 methods. The first method is double move, which is defined as protected, and double draw, which is defined as public. So the right hand side specifies the class in the class diagram. So the first compartment is used for specifying the class name. So the class name is circle here. And the second compartment is used for specifying the attributes, and both the attributes are defined as private, and as a result you have to place the negative symbol in front of each of the attributes, that is negative symbol center x and negative symbol center y, and both are having the data type int, so you can put a colon and specify the data type, corresponding data types. Then the third compartment it has the two methods move and draw, and the move is specified as protected, and as a result you have to put a hash symbol in front of the move, and it is having the return type double. So return type of the function can also be specified by using a column, and that is hash move colon double. Then the second method is draw, which is defined as public and having the return type double, and it is specified as plus draw then colon double. A class may be involved in one or more relationship with other classes. A relation can be any one of the following types like association, generalization, realization, dependency. Structural link between two classes or two peer classes are represented by using a solid line. If there exists a solid line between two classes, then we say that there is an association between these two classes. Here, student and instructor are joined by using a solid line, that is, student and instructor are associated with each other. When two classes are associated with each other, then there is a association name between these two classes, and the name of the relationship are written in the middle of the association line. Good relationship makes sense when you read them aloud. For example, a person works for a company. The association name is works for. They often have a small arrowhead to show the direction in which to read the relationship. Then each of the relation also have roles. A role is a directional purpose of an association. The roles are written at the end of an association line and describe the purpose played by that class in the relationship. For example, person is an employee. The role of the person is employee, and employer, the company is the employer which employs the person. Multiplicity specifies or defines how many objects participate in a relationship, and it is the number of instances of one class related to one instance of other class. For each association and aggregation, there are two multiplicity decisions to make, one for each end of the relationship. Multiplicity is represented as a number, and a star is used to represent a multiplicity of many. An arrow shows navigation, and although associations and aggregations are bidirectional by default, it is often desirable to restrict navigation to one direction. In that case, an arrowhead is added to indicate the navigational direction. You can see an example of multiplicity here where it contains three classes: teacher, course, and student. The association between the classes is represented by the association uh, relationship in the middle, that is, the teacher teaches course and student takes course. If a teacher teaches 1 to 3 course, then the multiplicity between the teacher and course is represented as 1 to 3, and each course is taught by only one teacher, and as a result the multiplicity between course and teacher is 1. A student can take between 1 to 5 courses. If that is the case, then the multiplicity between student and course is represented by 1 to 5. Similarly, a course can have 10 to 300 students. If that is the case, then the course to student multiplicity is represented by 10 to 300. Generalization connects a subclass to its superclass, or it is used for specifying the relationship which is an easy relationship. So the easy relationship is called the inheritance. Here, student is a person. So student is a subclass and person is the superclass. Association between two classes can be categorized as is a and has a relationship or association. Is a example we have seen it is generalization, and has a we can again categorize as aggregation and composition. Aggregation is a special case of association denoting It consists of hierarchy. The aggregate is the parent class and the components are the children class. So in the given figure, an exhaust system consists of a muffler that is represented by a 1. This 1 specifies the number of occurrences. That is, exhaust system consists of a single muffler, and it also consists of 0 to more tailpipe, and the dependencies are represented by using 0 to 2. That is, the exhaust system contains 0 to 2 tailpipe. We can see a simple example of aggregation and composition. The first one, car and engine, are two classes associated with each other, and here the association is called composition. That is, every car has an engine, or in other words, every car is composed of an engine. So this is the composition relationship. Second is car and passengers. Here, the car and passengers are associated with each other. That is, a car can have many passengers. They come and go. This type of relationship are called aggregation. The figure shows an example of a class diagram. From the class diagram, we can interpret the following. Shape is an abstract class. It is shown in italics. Shape is a superclass. Circle, rectangle, and polygon are derived from shape. In other words, a circle is a shape. This is a generalization or inheritance relationship. There is an association between dialog box and data controller. Shape is part of window. This is an aggregation relationship. Shape can exist without window. Point is part of circle. This is a composition relationship. Point cannot exist without circle. Window is dependent on event class. However, event is not dependent on window. The attributes of circle are radius and center. This is an entity class. The method names of circle are area, circum, set center, and set radius. The parameter radius in circle is an in parameter of type float. The method area of class circle returns a value of type double. The attributes and method names of rectangle are hidden. Some other class in the diagram also have their attributes and method names hidden.